In this problem, we're going to be adding and subtracting radical expressions. And I left the worked example at the top of the page so you can see another example and understand the steps that we'll be taking here in the media problem. So for part A, we want to add 4 times the square root of 5 plus the square root of 5. And I find that it's helpful because in mathematics, we don't include the 1. This is really 1 times the square root of 5. So sometimes it looks like we're taking shortcuts or skipping steps, and really we're not. But it helps to sometimes write that out. So what's common to these two terms is the square root of 5. So here's how I'm going to write the next step. 4 plus 1 times the square root of 5. So I've just pulled out the coefficients of the square root of 5 terms. I'm going to add them together because these are called like terms. If the radical part is the same, then I can combine the coefficients. This gives me 5 times the square root of 5. This one is a little bit more complicated. I need to be careful and identify what are the like terms. So here I have 4 times the square root of 7 minus 4 times the square root of 7. Those are like terms. The coefficients have opposite signs, so those two are actually going to combine to 0, and that leaves me with negative 3 times the square root of 11 plus 5, which I can also write as 5 minus 3 times the square root of 11. This last one, I'm going to need to work with these terms here, these radicals, and see if I can do any combining. I have 4 times the square root of 5 minus, now square root of 25 is just 5. So that gives me 4 times the square root of 5 minus 35. And that is really all I can do with that problem. I wanted to just have you take a quick look at part C here on the worked example, where I have negative 2 times the square root of 8 plus 2 times the square root of 2. This square root of 8 we can write as square root of 4 times the square root of 2. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So what I'm doing is I'm simplifying the square root of 8 so that it ends up with the square root of 2, and now I can combine negative 4 times the square root of 2 and 2 times the square root of 2. So just watch out for and be careful about things like that.